Good evening, everybody. My name is Yaber Hamid. I've been a lawyer practicing in Ottawa for the last 18 years. I focus on administrative law, public law, national security, and I've been in this community for those 18 years. My platform is what I call, if you find one of these little handy brochures on your chair, it's the 4 and 4. It's an access to justice platform. So one of the pillars of this is on promoting diversity in the profession. The statement of principles is an issue. It's become an issue, but I think it's hijacked the debate. In my view, we have the Law Society ethical principles, which we must abide by. The statement of principles is simply an affirmation of what our ethical responsibilities are, plus what the Ontario Human Rights Code dictates. So by accepting that, we're affirming what our pre-existing obligations are. Beyond that, my platform is to work on the working group of racialized lawyers committee report and focus on those substantive implementing features of it. If you have a problem with the SOP, let's talk about the report. Let's not talk about statement of principles. My next pillar of my platform is on experiential learning and that interface between law schools and the LSO. This is a decades-old sort of handshake between the LSO and the law schools, of keeping them in sort of a siloed existence. With the LSO dialogue on licensing, that's opened up. There's a space in there now among the recommendations to have increased discussion, and I want to foster that. For the last 5 years, I've been working with the A2 Justice, Access to Justice Coalition. I've been speaking to young lawyers, licensees, and building that part of the profession. So when I talk about access to justice, it's about increasing that space for opportunities for new lawyers and making articling, which is the next pillar of my platform, making that more consistent and accessible. And so we have that platform of experiential learning. For those of you who are working in the law schools, I know Francois, who's been teaching in the program as well, you know the importance of the LPP, what that can do. And the A2 Justice recommendation is an LPP expanding that, going with what we know substantively rather than what we did 15 or 20 years ago when we had an actual in-class component, and we phased that out because of cost considerations. Why? Not because it wasn't working, but because we didn't want to devote those resources to the beginning of practice training. That's where we need to go. We need to have that experiential learning, but also have that training component. The last element of my platform, which is also on an access to justice perspective, is decreasing the licensing fees. For those of you who are following the LSO dialogue on licensing, what they did is they created 4 options, and on the 4th option, which was for the LPP, they loaded a $16,000 price tag all onto the licensee. Who in good conscience, either as a licensee or a lawyer, will accept that? If we put that burden onto future lawyers and licensees, it's going to be an unwinnable debate. People don't want to be paying more going into the profession, but who suffers? The profession suffers because we don't have those quality standards. We don't have the solid experiential learning. So at the beginning of practice, we need to deal with these things. So my value added that I'd like to bring as a venture is to focus on these startup profession issues around training, around bringing lawyers into the profession where we're solidly looking at those issues and creating a space by decreasing, and you might ask, how are we going to decrease that? Well, there has been discussion, there will continue to be discussion around either revenue generating mechanisms or also mechanisms where we could really cost what that LPP would be, what that standardized training platform would be across the board. So I'm happy to discuss with any of you, any of these, and I congratulate and salute all of you who have come forward. I was here 4 years ago when we did this, and I think we were only venture candidates here. There was no one else. So I applaud all of you, and thank you.